Good morning, YouTube. Fat Cat Collections back at you with another watch review today. And today, if you watched my videos before and you're not new to my channel, you know I mainly review Invicta watches, but I review all kinds of products, anything I get my hands on. I just like to be able to share my experience with products with the rest of the world. And naturally, my main thing is cars, colognes, and watches. But basically, sometimes I will reach out and get cologne samples so I can review. Other times, people will reach out to me and send me samples. And a gentleman by the name of Frank, who owns a company called Starling watches, sent me a sample for me to review for my channel. Frank, thank you very much for your generosity in sending me this watch. I do appreciate it. I hope you like the video review. Now, you guys, if you've watched my channel before, you guys know that I'm extremely brutally honest, and if I like something, I'm going to tell you. If I don't, or if I've had a bad experience, whether it be of the product or with the seller, I will definitely let you know about it. You can always expect an honest review because I am not endorsed by anybody. When I tell you I love Invicta watches, it's because I really do, and I've had great experience with them. So, this one here, although I'm not a pocket watch fan, thank you, Frank, for sending me the watch. This is it right here, okay? I'm going to tell you a little bit about the brand, kind of give you my opinion on the brand and the marketing, and just kind of show you a little bit more about the watch and kind of leave it at that, okay? The first video review I did this, I deleted. I did not upload because I was really not impressed with the watch, to be honest with you. I ended up getting a defective one, but Frank was nice enough to go ahead and have another sample sent out to me. And so, again, Frank, thanks a lot. So, I'm going to tell you just a little bit about the watch first. These watches are 6 in the collection. Each one is different. And, again, these are called Starling watches. And, basically, there is a book, an ebook that goes along with these watches. And they want you to collect all 6, basically. They come in a kind of a decorative case. I'll show you the case real quick here. So, it looks like it's kind of like this, it's plastic, but it looks like a wooden box. And you have parts of the story on here. This is the two couple that's in love. And basically, I'll tell you the story first, okay? So, their story, and I'm just going to read this right off their website. If you want to know more about this, check them out. This is a steampunk-themed watch, okay? And steampunk is kind of like a futuristic, everything's done like a copper and kind of that aged, kind of like, I guess, kind of like that aged kind of copperish look. It's hard for me to explain. Just Google it. You'll know what I mean if you don't know what steampunk is. So basically, this is a story. It's a romantic time-traveling adventure that these watches are basically, I guess, they're kind of like collector's pieces from the story, okay? And so basically, there's 6 different watches. Each one teaches you something that you can, like a self-help kind of thing, okay? It's a little confusing, the whole story. There's so many different parts of this brand. So I'm just going to read right off the site. It says, Starling is a novella about a man and woman 60 years apart in age. Jeff is a medical school student who meets Alessandra, if I'm saying that right, as she is suffering a heart attack. Before she dies, she stuffs a vintage pocket watch into Jeff's coat. He later realizes the special watch enables him to travel back through time to find Alessandra when she was his age. They are pursued by a guy named Hinky, the creator of the pocket watch. I assume maybe he's trying to get after him, something like that. I haven't read the book, this is off the website. The power of the watch reunites them as they fall in love. They embark on an adventure together to find 5 other pocket watches, each with its own special power. Each watch also teaches life skills to the reader that they can use for self-improvement. For example, the Rewind watch teaches the power of yoga's breathing technique to reflect on your past decisions, to get a do-over in life, etc., etc. So, there's an ebook that goes along with this. It's free to download, and each watch has its own theme, and I guess there's self-help themes throughout the book that relate to each watch. Now, the different watches that they have here, they have, like I said, 6 different ones, okay? And they have the Inception watch, which he sent me the Inception watch. This one here is the What If Steampunk watch, they call it. So they have the Inception, the Rewind, the Snapshot, the Translate, the Memories, and the What If watch, okay? So this one I'm holding is the What If watch, okay? I'm just going to show you close up here. You can see it's got that steampunk theme. It's kind of got this strange engraving on the back. Not really engraving, but it's pressed into the part of the case, I guess. And the watch, of course, naturally opens, and I will reveal, if I can get the watch open. Yeah, real simple, you just press it. So there you go, so you just press the top, and here's the watch itself. It kind of looks like a mother of pearl, however, it's not. It's almost like a, it's not mother of pearl, but it has a look of mother of pearl. It's actually like a satin behind there. Basically, this is the other part of the watch here. Let me get it a little. So they have these, what they call, well, they're LED lights on the inside, okay? And they're called, what do they call them here? Let me look it up here. They're called Chilovian lights. They have 67 million color combinations. Although, there we go. You can see mine went out. There you go. So it changes color. I'm going to close this back up here. And what they say here, it looks like right now they're on a limited time special. These collectible steampunk watches are available for $89 while they last. Each come with internal Chilovian lights, a gorgeous cast resin box, sculpture by Disney Imagineer. I'm not going to say the name because I'm not endorsing anybody. Matching necklace and fob chains, and an ebook telling a time-traveling adventure. Okay, so basically you get the gist of what it's about. That's the watch. Here's the resin box. I tell you guys, sometimes these video reviews are taxing. Anyway, so here's the box there. They have like the couple on the side there. I guess you have over here probably the villain coming after them. And the watch actually sits inside the box on a little display pedestal. And you can collect all 6. So I'm going to show you just a close-up of the watch a little more here. There's the back. So you see the lights lit up here, the chain. Now, on to the review of the quality. Now, I have to be honest with you guys. I'm not impressed with the quality of this watch. And they were selling this watch for I believe it was $129 not that long ago. They've dropped the price to $89. Although I really appreciate Frank sending me these watches, even though they're not me, you know, it's not really my kind of thing I would wear. I have to say that what happened the first watch I got, I was really unimpressed with the quality. And what happened was the top of the watch right here, this little kind of hoop, I mean, popped off so easily. I mean, sure you could bend it to put it back on, but it's not the point. You shouldn't do that. The back of the watch would not even stay on. So the watch basically is sitting in a drawer somewhere right now. The watch wouldn't even, the back wouldn't even stay on. The internals of the watch are extremely cheap. There is no special movement here, no even decent movement. It's a very, very basic watch. And I personally think that for the amount of money you're paying for this particular watch, you're not getting a really high level of quality. You're really paying more for the novelty with this particular watch. Now, being I'm a watch collector and I'm not a watch designer, I mean, there's some people will argue with me that Invicta is terrible. Everybody has their own opinions. I'm just giving you my opinion of this particular watch and versus what it costs for what you're getting. And I think that I have pocket watches that I bought that were $20 like in Walmart that had better quality than this particular watch. Now I feel bad saying that, but I have to do an honest review. One thing I will say about Frank is that he really took care of the problem and instantly sent me a replacement. And this watch is okay. This one has no problems. The lights still work on it. I've had it for several months. The chain is very, very thin on the watch, so I can't imagine this isn't really, I think, a functional watch if you're looking for a pocket watch to be functional. You're really paying for the fact that you're getting a themed watch that has to do with a story. Now, I understand when you have something like a very well-known movie, and I'm not going to drop any well-known movie names. Let's just say one of these well-known movies. Let's say you guys know what I'm talking about. Maybe a movie that has a lot of like swords in the movie, and that's like a real big part of the movie, is special sword. Okay, then they make a replica sword for people who like the movie and want to buy that, and you can collect these items. That's a very famous movie, that people have seen and be like, oh, they can become a fan of it. Millions of dollars have been invested into the movie, into making a blockbuster hit. So people naturally want to go out and get these collectible products. Like I have a Blade sword up there from the movie Blade. Okay, just an example. Now, with this, they're basically like charging you a lot of money for a very, 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 I would say poor quality item, okay, that is based off a ebook that is not popular. I could see if the book was extremely popular, like a New York Times bestseller, and they made these watches. I think the marketing behind this kind of went in the wrong direction. I think they should have focused more on making the story an amazing story of like just a bestseller people have to buy, and then once that gets to that point, then you make the themed items from the movie, because right now you're basically buying the watch based on an ebook that nobody's ever heard of. So that's my kind of idea. I know, Frank, I'm sorry, but that's kind of where my mind takes me with this the branding of your product. Like I said, all the customer service was fantastic. Frank was nice enough to go ahead and do that for me. Still, I just don't think that, I know that if I paid $129 for this watch, when I can get an Invicta watch, I know it's two different things, but I can get an Invicta watch for $110, that the quality, I mean, blows this watch out of the water. It's not even the same. This is a very low quality watch. And although if you like steampunk and you're looking for something themed in steampunk and you can't find any pocket watches that are themed in that, then this is going to be something you're interested in. It just is. It's a little confusing to me because they're making it a steampunk theme, which is kind of a very niche, I guess, like theme on anything really. I mean, you don't see a lot of people like dressing up steampunk, or it's kind of very you know, it's kind of it's niche. You know what I mean? It's not something everybody does. You know, it's very specific. So you're making a watch that's very specific to a certain group of people, and then you're making them themed off a book that nobody's really heard of. It's like you're making people buy the watch. I mean, you're trying to sell the watch based on what you're getting, but then you have this story. It's just a little confusing to me on the branding. I just think that really they should have focused more on the quality of the product and made a really unique watch, pocket watch. Maybe you want to focus just on steampunk items, and you make something really cool and you stick to that. It just seems like there isn't really like one solid direction here. But nonetheless, I do appreciate the gentleman sending me the watch for me to review. I think that if I will say something positive, I think that if you like kind of unique items with the lights on this thing here, I just kind of feel like there's something maybe a kid would wear, or somebody who's really into steampunk. I can see that this leaning more towards those types of people, but not for a guy who's looking for a pocket watch. Whereas I think that should be your, you know, because I don't think there's a lot of people looking for steampunk items. I just don't. And maybe I'm wrong, you know. But he has sold a lot of these, which is great. I'm more power to you. It's not something I personally would buy. And I have to just give my main review is putting the theme aside, putting the branding and the marketing aside on what they're, you know, who they're really going after, who their clients are. You know, putting that aside, I have to focus mainly on the quality. And for $130, you're not getting a lot of quality in this watch. And when I had the back open, the fact I got one that the back didn't even pop on, the fact that the company sent it out knowing it was going to be reviewed, sent it to a guy reviewing it with 3,600 subscribers who reviews watches regularly and sends one that's falling apart, to me, now that had nothing to do with Frank. That had to do with the company, I guess the factory he uses to produce these and ship them. But to me, it's just like it says a lot about the care and concern of his manufacturing people. But nonetheless, like I said, he did send me a new one. This one's fine. But I think this would be something that would be maybe in certain little specific shops. I think the price point, I don't know what it costs Frank to make these watches, but I don't know if there's a huge markup on there. But if there is, I see they lowered the price to $90. I would think this watch right here, realistically, should be about $39 for you to really feel like, okay, I get it. I want a steampunk watch. This is what I got. So with that also being said, the box, one of the boxes is fine. The other box, the other watch, the pedestal totally fell off. I mean, it was broken from the factory. So it just says, I just don't think there's a lot of quality here. I know there's not a lot of quality here, and you're really paying for the theme. So what I do encourage you, if you are a reader and you like stories like this, romantic kind of novels, I would encourage you to check out the website, starlingwatch.com, and download the free ebook and read the book. And maybe if you really like the book, maybe you'll want to maybe collect these. But nonetheless, once again, Frank, thank you very much for sending me the product. I think that you're moving in the right direction. I think my advice is just to focus more on who you're marketing this towards and a little bit more on the quality. And I think that'll be just overall better for your particular brand and company. But that's my review on the Starling watch. Here it is once again. Again, you get the chain. I believe this is a neck chain, I assume. And then you get the what do they call it? The fob chain. Yeah, the necklace. Then you get the fob chain, which you can put it on a pocket, I guess. This doesn't seem like it's too bad. This is very flimsy, but I don't know. You know, I haven't worn it, I haven't put it to the test, but nonetheless, if you guys do have this watch and you've had good experience with it, man, drop a comment. You know, I'll post those comments. Frank, once again, thank you very much for your generosity in sending me your watch. I do appreciate it. I think it was a very nice gesture. A gift is a gift regardless, so thank you very much. And if you guys have any questions about this particular product, go ahead and drop me a comment. As far as resellers of the watch, let's see here. Trying to see where else you can get them. You definitely get them on the website. There's a couple of videos on the website kind of showing you the steampunk look. They probably have them in a lot of little retail shops, although I don't know where. And I'm just going to read you a little bit real quick before we wrap up here on steampunk. Let's see, steampunk has been around for decades, before the term was even coined. And I'm looking at some of these people dressed like this. Let's see here. According to the author and blogger J.D. Falcon, steampunk is quite simply Victorian-era science fiction. Okay, that makes sense. I can see that. Let's see. It's conceptualized it's considered a sub-movement of this genre generally. Sorry, I'm just kind of... Involves various hairstyles, makeup, jewelry, and sometimes even body modification. You'll see steampunk aesthetics on TV shows like Doctor Who and Warehouse 13. Okay. And, alright, so that's kind of what it is. It's a futuristic Victorian era. Okay. Cool. Alright, so basically that's what these watches are kind of themed after. So, once again, thank you. I'm going to wrap up here. Frank, thanks again, buddy. And, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop me a comment. Take care, guys.